What's going on, everybody? It is your host, Dr. Splash from Yancey Street. Now, I know what you're thinking. You saw this title and you're like, oh my god, are these new Dragon Ball villains we didn't know about? And the answer is no. This is in the literal sense. So, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know about my lawyer, my boy GB. Well, his dream video for me to do, for whatever reason, is sandwich versus burger. Which one wins? Which is superior? So I found a way to come to that conclusion, and we're going to do that today. But before we begin, if you like these weird battles where we get unorthodox and make shit that's not the usual channel content, smash the like button. 300 plus likes would be absolutely amazing. We're so close to 30,000 subscribers. Make sure to sub if you haven't already, and join my Discord where we do games, prizes, D&Ds, giveaways, and more. Actually, recently just did a D&D giveaway with 3 people. One of them already got it. Posting it in my server. It's pretty sick to see y'all get my personal letters and the comic books I send. So definitely join up and enter the sweepstakes. Now, getting back on topic, sandwich versus burger. Now, to properly analyze this battle to conclude who is the superior of the foods, I have decided to do a simple conversion. Now, in a ton of my old versus battles, I would break each battle into categories when analyzing the characters. I would do strength, speed, durability, intelligence, skill, and then hacks, abilities, and gear. Now, we are going to do that by using those same 6 categories, but just tweaking them to more so fit the realm of food, and then at the end I will give you who I think is superior. So first up, we have strength. Now, strength in terms of how we're going to apply this to the food war is their peak, at their absolute best. What do I see as stronger, the superior, the best, the most tasty, the one with the most motion? And I think if we're talking about strength at their peak, I think the burger would be superior in the strength department. Typically, at their higher ends, at their best, the burger has a lot more care put into it, has a lot more nuance and how it's designed. The fact that typically it's served hot, how it is, I just think the high end, peak, best burgers and most sophisticated burgers would be better than the sandwich, which is just a little lower, even at its highest end. Now, the next category would be speed. Now, for speed, how we are going to convert that to food is how long does it take for this food typically to arrive? And in the question of this between the sandwich and the burger, I think it's pretty obvious. The sandwich blitzes the absolute shit out of the burger. You can throw a fucking sandwich together in 10 seconds and call it a day. A burger, it's a lot harder to do that. A lot of the things that makes it quality in that strength department we just discussed is one of its drawbacks with the burger. Yes, the ingredients are dope. You cook them up. They're hot and fresh. They also oftentimes take a lot longer to make than something like a sandwich. In conclusion, when we're talking about speed between these two, you gotta give it to the sandwich every time. It's just typically much faster to arrive on the plate. Now, next up would be durability. For the conversion for durability in the food war, we're simply analyzing, on average, which food kind of holds up to the elements better. Like if I left a sandwich and a burger on the counter, which do I think fares better and which do I think overall retains more quality to it if I return a little bit later? And in this category, I'm going to have to give the edge to the sandwich. I think oftentimes, on average, the sandwich does a little better in the durability department. You can leave it out longer. Typically, a lot of sandwiches are cold anyway, so they're not necessarily going to get much colder. It retains the quality better. Whereas a burger, they're hot. It's a hot food. The bun gets cold. The meat itself gets cold, it gets soggy, though just the life on it's a lot less. It's the sandwich in this conversation. It's just generally a lot more tanky than the burger is. Next up for the categories, we have skill. Now, for the skill conversion for the food, I ultimately decided to go with how much skill it takes to even get this food, right? Like how skilled you have to be to produce this food. How elite of a food is it, in that skill department? And between the sandwich and the burger, I think the obvious choice in that skill conversion is the burger. In general, it's harder to make a burger. It takes a lot more to make a burger than it does a sandwich. I mean, there's elements of getting the patty together, throwing it on the grill, getting the toppings rather, and that's harder than throwing together a basic sandwich, which a lot of people can reasonably do. I think in the skill department, it takes more skill with the burger, more skill attributed to the burger in general. So we're giving it the edge. Next up, we have intelligence. Now, intelligence wise, the way I'm looking at this is what's the IQ for arriving at a good version of this food for sandwich and burger? I think again, it kind of goes hand in hand with the skill department, and we're leaning towards the burger. It takes a little more IQ to produce a better burger, whereas a sandwich, for a quality sandwich, you don't have to put too much thought into it. It's a simple execution with as simple as 3 or 4 moves in a minute or two. So I think the skill and intelligence kind of go hand in hand here, kind of how speed and durability went hand in hand for the sandwich, but this time it's in the favor of the burger. And now for the final category, before we get into the breakdown conclusion, is hacks, abilities, and gear. Now, for this conversion in the food war, I simply put towards their versatility, how many versions there are, what you can do with them, what they encompass, right? And between the sandwich and burger in this situation, I think the edge for this category should be granted to the sandwich. They are simply just more versatile. A ton more plays at hand when it comes to the sandwich. A lot more you can do with them. Perfect catering food. They have so much versatility. Easy to throw together. There's just a lot of hacks that comes to the sandwich. They could be hot or cold. It's a lot going on. So when we reviewed all these categories, we ultimately come down to a tie of 3 categories to 3 categories. So going from there, the conclusion has to come from the gap in the categories, and ultimately which I think is superior because of that. So looking at this, I think it's an interesting battle. I think it is close using the categories, obviously, with the 3 to 3. But I think the speed and versatility of the sandwich is what takes it here. And I think that versatility is so pure, so grand, that you could actually be a purist and make an argument that the burger could very well fall under the umbrella of sandwich. Whereas under the umbrella of burger, it's harder to argue, a sandwich is a form of a burger, but it's easier to argue a burger is a form of a sandwich. So with that edge, with the speed edge, with the durability, it's so tanky. I just think the sandwich ultimately takes it here. Now, I can see some people arguing burger, and that's okay. I think this is a remotely stressless battle because it's just fucking opinions on food. But I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy these kind of battles and you want to see another version of this with different foods or different types of topics, let me know. But anyways, it's been your boy Dr. Splash. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.